I want to title this one something on the line of Surfside building collapse versus Hard Rock hotel building collapse. And I want to talk about how disingenuous this search was with Surfside. That it was a lot of handshaking, and I know there's a lot of followers out there that are firemen that are at that location. So if you would come forward, that would be nice because this was disingenuous the way that the rescue went, if you will. That if it was your family members there, you wouldn't have. You would have if you would have really went at it. I know you've been muzzled, so you can't even speak to the public. If Surfside was truly allowing open conversation about this, they wouldn't muzzle the firefighters. They would let allow anybody they choose, anybody in the world speak of it and show images. Of course, nothing of remains. No one would want to see that. But there's where are your photographs? Obviously, you were told no photographs with the firemen, etc. Now, let's talk about the disingenuous uh, demolition of the structure. We were told at one point the building moved approximately 2 inches per one of their reports. The building moved 2 inches. I did a video saying the building looks stable to me. I don't see where they get 2 inches of movement on a structure. Where did they get it? He did not state it. Through an inside source, it has been revealed that the building apparently did not move 2 inches, but rather some debris from the structure over here fell down. That's the clarity of it. Remember the amygdala. I am all about the brain, amygdala. You can't tell a lie. You also want to tell the truth in there somewhere. So you can't force everyone to be part of your lie. So part of the truth will come out. Because it doesn't. It's a conflict. So now the we have the materials that might be falling down from over here in the structure onto the pile, which would hinder the search and rescue of people. Not recovery, rescue of people. All right, so that area would be off limits. This doesn't stop you from searching and rescuing all of the other rest of the area there. And we saw that was so disingenuous the way they went at trying to do it. Now, I know they were out there all that time, but what did they have? They had their hands tied. You had to bring in people from another part of the world. Yet the mayor of Miami and et cetera are saying that their best search and rescue team is right here in the world. Apparently, we had to bring in people from Mexico, from Israel. So apparently, you're not the best as you may think. You can say you're the best, but so that's that. Maybe you're the best at wanting to, search and rescue of someone pulling them out of a building, but in a pile of debris, in this situation, especially with the lady that died back there when they showed the rescuing her and the fire happened. Well, you didn't predict how to protect her against a fire. You didn't predict how to get her oxygen in case something went south. So there's room for improvement, isn't it, in being the best in the world? So no, I don't. I am attacking the the idea of being called the best in the world. If you can't predict that the person that you first need to get them air, and I think I did a video on it, or I talked to another engineer on the phone. Look, the first thing they do when they have a cave in at mines is the first thing they do is not trying to recover the people. Just start digging it. The first thing they say is, let's get them oxygen, let's get them water, and let's get them food. So they'll do a hole to get to that location just to get them what the life-sustaining things are, which are oxygen, water, and food. They'll get them that, and everything else is secondary to that. It may take them weeks to recover these people at a secondary shaft to get to them. We have a person here, they just go at it, and the person dies as a resulting fire that they couldn't predict. It's unpredictable to them. That the best in the world couldn't predict that a fire might happen, and you're not following the ABCs, airway, breathing, circulation. The airway is critical. So let's maintain that person's airway however we can. And if that includes keeping the rubble from falling down on them, that's maintaining airway. So I find that very disingenuous of the municipality to brag about being the best. And then we have 0 people recovered that didn't require minor access, meaning just bring the lift up and take them off a ledge. They saved themselves. All right, just so people would know, I would be dead if I was in this building. The lady that is the model, I would be dead as her, because when that building separated and the lady that saw the wall open up, I would be dead, because I would be looking out the window, evaluating it, trying to figure out what's going on there. Oh, check that out. Look at the crack of the outside facade here. Huh, where's the moment happening on this? Huh, let me grab my tape measure. Let me go get my level. So I might have made it into the hallways. I went to go grab my level and tape measure from the car, but I would have been coming back up. I would have been dead as shit had I been in this building. I would not have ran and escaped. I would have been back trying to evaluate, and I would have heard the building coming down on me and go, huh, apparently the building's pancaking. I don't know if I'd have known it was pancaking at the time. I would have just said, oh, that's not going to end well. So that's that one. Now, the disingenuous demolition is that this structure, I think, was stable, and the debris, yes, is a danger of falling down on people, but that doesn't stop the recovery effort over here. I think they use this excuse to use federal and state funds to say the building was unsound, unsafe to continue the rescue, not the recovery. Because in the recovery, they're like, no, you get no money for recovery. But if you label it as a rescue, well, that's emergency funds still kick in, and we're going to give you we'll let you demo the building on our tab. So Surfside gets to push it forward to the state or the federal government. And no sooner is the building down on the ground, within hours later, they say, you know what? They're all dead. This is a recovery at this point, we're sad to say. So it's so effing disingenuous of Surfside to do that, to try to pretend like it's recovery. I think this was a financial decision. Also think their head engineer, yes, I saw his work, beautiful work, some of it is, in a few places, his company's work, not his work. But it's disingenuous for him to say that he would have his family move into the other building without knowing why this building failed, and they're sister buildings. So are they set up the same? And so it'd be disingenuous if you don't know why this one failed. Why would you tell somebody, hey, go ahead and jump on that 747 plane? Yeah, 10 of them just crashed, but you know what? You're on number 11. I fly there. And as one commenter said, awesomely so, said, no, he meant he would move his mother-in-law into the other structure. And I thought that was kind of cute. Not really his immediate family, as what they stated. So no, until those buildings, yes, it might bring down real estate. Yes, I saw a real estate agent try to tell me in an email that no, the real estate market hasn't changed from this. Really? You sent me that only a few days ago. How would you already say the real estate market hasn't changed? With that said, show me where all the new sales happen in condos right now. Show me how many people they might be completing the condo sale because they're under contract. But show me how many people have backed out now, and then show me how many new contracts have happened in Surfside since this took place. Specifically, that building, the twin sister, how many properties are sold put under contract after this accident? So don't try to gaslight me. You'll just get it thrown back in your face. So now, again, this is disingenuous. We're going to go over the steel here, but before we do that, not in this video, we're going to talk about my bias that I have the splitting deck right about here right there, the butterfly. I have to consider internally that it started and worked its way out. My butterfly is an option. We have to consider the repairs that they stated and that were required, 28, 29. Hold on, looking at my notes. So we have to consider the repairs that were structural repairs right here that you see that they were going to require, where the structural repairs were located. Obviously, they set it up where they're between two, and we can probably try to figure this out. If this was to scale for sure, we'd be able to figure it out. There's a scale. We'd be able to figure out where exactly these beams are and figure out that this is the intent of the repair there. Let me go to 20, that's 28, so I'll go to 39. 39. Yeah, we already talked about that. For clarity, this glass door here, apparently a lighted glass door that you can see from here. The lobby, where's the elevator? Elevator, that's looking the wrong way. Huh. So someone sent me images saying, looking this direction. Yeah, that's not going to help. Wait a minute. Elevator is to the right. Yeah, you're looking the wrong direction. Behind us is where it collapsed. So this way, I don't see visually this being a solid wall. How you're seeing this direction? Yes, I can see visually out this way where the driveway is, where you, etc. Where you pull up and do the special parking, etc. Whatever. You pay the money, the valet parking. Yeah, I don't see that visual there, so I think that needs a little correction on a couple of people's thoughts that you can see from here. You can get there from here. You can't get there from here. That the elevator, and he sent me the video of the person showing all the floors and the day of. I got that, but you can't visually see from there. There's a doorway here. There's a solid wall here. There's a fire escape. There's an elevator. You don't see from there this visual line of sight to there. It says sitting area. Now, if you came over to here, this is a visual area that you could see through and see the collapse. But you're no longer in the lobby, are you? You're over here in the sitting area, and we have a 6-inch, 1 foot 6 inch, much more clear here. This step down, as opposed to the other one. And my bias, the other one was I was so busy looking for rebar that I didn't let the obvious step elevation change into my brain. This is about biases. When we make a bias, sometimes it can control our comments, our decision process, and I'm subject to it 100%. I'm subject to conclusive files. So back to here, new data is showing that there's no connection between the deck and this outside wall. So no connection between this column, these columns where there's supposed to be some 5 by 12s connecting into the pad to this outside wall are not present. So that's one of my inside sources. I'll say that much to give it some credibility. You're never going to get my inside source. It's not going to happen. So you can just pass on that. As I said with the FIU bridge collapse, when I made the comments about what really took place in those meetings, I said, look, any lawyer watching this, you're wasting your time. You can subpoena on me all you want. Go to jail, attempt to court, and not give you my source. I will not give my source. I'd rather go to jail and probably do a video from jail. So it's not going to happen. If you want to know about this, you don't need it. You don't need to worry about my source. You can just question the so open-minded Surfside mayor and the engineer there. You can question them. Was there securement in this outer wall to this wall here? Now, was there, and where are the images from here? In other words, this could start, this being an overhang at that point, considering there's no shelf there that it was tied onto, this being an overhang, that we could get an easy failure in this overhang from this column to here to start our wave from here. That wave would start where it's impacting cars, landing on top, and it would give me my false bias right about here, where I say the butterfly would happen. With that said, if this breaks first from here to here, okay, let's visualize. Sorry about not changing the mouse color, I forgot. So I need a column. So I need a side view of a column. Oh yeah, inspection reports. That's nice and forth and open there. 5,763. That's I forget what they call that when you inundate somebody with all the data. You make a FOIA request for one thing, and they say, here's all your permits. Yeah, well that's just distracting the hell out of me, at everyone. Here's Collins Avenue. You can chase on this if you want, but they're like all the permits. Hold on. So concrete column. Let's just try this. Images. Yeah. So images. Bear with me. So concrete column. All right. Let's use. Cantilever. I love the spelling correction on this. I just tap and fix it. Let's do that. So this is what a cantilever would look like if you did design it where it wasn't anchored in there with the reinforcement, which this states it is anchored right here, anchored into the wall, 5/8 at 12 inch on center, typical. So now this is really a cantilever, but you can see it's larger here. It's got the stirrups. This deck appears to be of the same dimensions, and no cantilever, and there's no column going above it. So it's just flat. So now let's imagine if I can push down on this. I create compression here. If I can push down on the load of it, the dead load of it wants to shear, but being out here, it wants to create a rotation like this, counterclockwise rotation over here, which is we put the top part in tension and this in compression. So this part not being there, we would want to see a tension break somewhere about the top of this, but that's where the damn column is, and it punched around it. Whoa, look at that thing. So that would help you try to identify it, but they're not. I didn't see anybody trying to get down to the base layer of this thing. It looks like everybody's just walking on top of the pile where we see with pavers, this type of clay paver it looks like almost, and then we have the concrete bed. So the other data I have, okay, is there's also a sand bed there, pretty heavy sand bed. So the sand bed, setting bed, then we have concrete. That setting bed, if water gets to it, will hold a lot of moisture, and it's pretty heavy. I don't want to say the amount of thickness because maybe the person or persons that contacted me spoke of the amount to someone else, and that would triangulate back to that person or persons. So I will not give details like that because those the devil's in the details if you're trying to trap somebody and figure out who's saying what. I want the sources to keep giving me source material, and I want to share it with you guys because that's the intent of the people sharing with me now, that they want the truth out there because the truth's not getting out there. So from these type of videos I'll do forward will probably be source related. They will maybe not be backed up with imagery, but they might be. But they'll be backed up with correlating locations and thought processes. As far as the building goes, as far as that's my narrative on this building versus Hard Rock Hotel, and why they probably federally wanted to bring it down, and why they said. So you can debunk me on that if you want. So that, and why I think they wanted to call it still a recovery mission because of the federal money being available, and a rescue mission. And no sooner the building's on the fucking ground, it becomes a recovery. No, they're all dead. We're gonna recover. Incidentally, like I said, I'd be one of the dead ones. I'd be dead as fuck, squashed up, no good. Sorry for the insensitivity of some family members are watching, but I want you to know that my skill set would not have saved me. I would have been worse. So the lady that made the phone calls, the people that staggered, I would have been one of them, but purposely staying there looking. So the data would not have told me to run at that point. My mind would have told me to evaluate. Now, current day, I have a new conclusive file. My data would say, oh my gosh, I wish I could take a photograph of that before I run. But my data would say, oh, I've got to run out the building. So my data also tells me now not to buy a condo. With that said, Fontainebleau, located in, I want to tell you my crush building, that I have a Fontainebleau in Panama City. Panama City. I've had a crush on this building for years, but every time I come back, it's still the same issues, which are spalling concrete, etc. Every time I come back to look at the pricing of it. It's only about 7 stories or something like that, set up like that. But where are they bring complementary. They're very small. There we go. So they've got this going on. So hostile illegal takeover, images, what's this say? This is Fontainebleau. It sucks. They've got, this structure is surviving in spite of itself. So if you want to talk about taking down a structure or condemning a structure, to the municipality down there in Panama City. This, you look no further than to evaluate this for structural issues. This thing has got chunks of concrete missing in multiple places. That's where are some more pictures? In multiple places, and this is the tension side of it. So that spalling, we could say the span created is the tension is showing there, and it's spalling, popping it off under whatever loads above it, and it's got it on the outside too. Okay, so they're being very. It seems like they're smart. Whoever's publishing now, they're publishing over top of these imagery, or post so many, and you'll push the other search engine down. Fontainebleau concrete failure. Let's just try that. There's a lot more than that. So the governor of Florida, if you want to look at a building that you want to send some of your people to, send them to Fontainebleau. I don't know. Let's see, visit site. They actually say Fontainebleau. Panama City. Yeah. Here we go. Yes, send them there. Send them there. Last I looked, this was still status quo. This is an old article, but I was there about 2 years ago, I think it was, and 3 years ago, and it looked like this. I was like, oh no, can't buy it. Actually, I don't remember any supports there. There's some steel supports, but nevertheless, you see they got some temporary supports in this one. They didn't have it in that image. They didn't have that at this structure. I'm ending the video with look at this. It's just disgusting. That's gotten worse. I'm ending the video with yeah. Don't stay in places like this. Don't forget that's a rusted staircase. Don't stay in places like this. Bail out. Call it quits. I don't care about real estate values when it comes down to that life risk stuff. All right, perfect timing. Take care, guys. Bye.